Good morning, VeChain family. It's your boy Satoshi Boomin coming at you with yet another video. Today we have a special video for you today. It is going to be with the Chief Partnership Officer of Safehaven. In this special interview, the first interview on the channel, we will be discussing DeFi, SafeSwap, digital inheritance, and many more topics pertinent to the crypto and VeChain community. So sit back, relax, and thank you for sponsoring the channel, for subscribing, for liking, and just for showing up each and every day. Throughout the video, there's going to be some Discord bloops going on in the background. Don't know where those came from. We both had Discord off, so please bear with us on that. Also, there'll be timestamps in the bottom so that you guys can skip to the topics that are more interesting to you. Thank you. I plan on doing more of these. And please let me know down below in the comments section what kind of interviews you want to see, who do you want me to interview next, and if you want to see more interviews on the channel. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you, and enjoy the interview. And we are live. Welcome, guys. Good morning. It's your boy Boomin coming at you with yet another video, a special video today. We've got Tyler here from Safehaven, Chief Partnership Officer from Safehaven, in the building. He's going to be talking about Safehaven with us and giving us all the knowledge that we need. So welcome, Tyler. How you doing today?
Doing good. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to get down to talking about all this and explain to your viewers how Safehaven works and what we got to offer.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm not going to take too much of your time. I know you're very busy, so let's get right into the show. So first question for you is, what is Safehaven? Now, the subs on my channel know all about it, but for people that are just new to VeChain and to the Safehaven ecosystem, can you explain what it is and why it's important?
Yeah, for sure. So Safehaven's important because we primarily offer decentralized inheritance, which is patented. We have patented protocols. And we're also important because we offer atomic swapping protocols, which enables projects to go cross-chain by swapping their tokens from one chain to another, and it allows them to provide their services to other communities. So if they have products, for example, like we do for INHERATENCE, then it allows that project to port their smart contracts and migrate them over to that chain. Like they have to write it in that format, in that code format, and then those communities can go over to SafeSwap, swap their tokens from VIP 180 to BEP 20, for example, or ERC 20 or Matic, and then then they could sign the smart contracts on those blockchains and utilize the products there. But that's primarily what Safehaven's known for: INHERATENCE, the decentralized inheritance, and now atomic swapping protocols via SafeSwap.
Great. So could you touch a little bit more on what is decentralized inheritance and why is decentralized inheritance important for the average crypto investor?
Yeah, 100%. So decentralized inheritance is essentially just the process of allowing your heirs to inherit the data required to recover wallets or data to log into exchange accounts. And what's different, what the differences between decentralized inheritance and centralized inheritance is: decentralized inheritance, nobody has complete access to that data. It's fragmented, and you got to have all the plan shares come together to where you can unlock that data. Whereas centralized, someone has access to that data, and you have to worry about that entity not being corrupt and stealing it, right? So the way that INHERATENCE works is it's a Web3 platform, and people go on there, they input their critical data within the inheritable data dialog box, and then it gets encrypted utilizing military-grade encryption, AES 256, and then that encryption gets fragmented into multiple shares. And those plan shares are stored on safe key devices. Got some right here I could show. So they come in these boxes, and this is what they look like. So
kind of looks like a ledger.
Yeah, pretty similar. It's pretty much a USB in a sense. and you plug them in at the end whenever all the plan shares are being saved after you pay the 10,000 SHA for the decentralized inheritance plan. And then once the owner of estate passes away, all the beneficiaries, they gather back together with the merge authority, and then they'll plug these devices in, and then they'll type in their PIN code because they're PIN code protected, and they'll unlock their plan shares. All those plan shares will come together. Then the system will notice that one plan share is missing, which is the plan share on the blockchain, the validator share. And then that's whenever the system triggers the DMS, and that's the dead man switch, which is tied to the validator share, making it locked. And that's whenever the owner of the estate has to respond to that dead man switch within the amount of time that they designated whenever they were setting up the plan. So if someone said, I need to respond within 2 weeks or a month, then they have that amount of time. And if they don't, then that share gets unlocked. All the beneficiaries meet back together with the merge authority. They plug in their safe keys again. And then this time it can all merge with the validator share. And then the inheritable data can be seen. They can recover all the mnemonic phrases for wallets, recover that, log into the exchange accounts, go into centralized exchanges, all that good stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much how Inherity works in a nutshell, and it's really exciting because now we're going to be working on launching Inherity Mobile now that SafeSwap's launched. So all the development and stuff that's been done, it's been done for a long time. The only thing that we need to do was connect the API integrations from the vault to the database to excuse me, to just everything, and essentially our main smart contract developer, he was focused on making sure that SafeSwap was going smooth and everything was good, and now that all that's good, he can get started on finalizing those API endpoints and whatnot, and then we can launch Inherity Mobile, and that will allow people to establish Inherity plans in one day without needing the SafeKey devices, which the SafeKey devices will still be available for purchase. People can still use them, and it's always going to be like the most secure method because it's just the cold storage, absolute, not connected to internet whatsoever. So it's always going to be your best bet. But Inherity Mobile is going to be a nice option, and it's going to allow mass adoption because, like I was saying, making a plan in the same day is really good for mass marketing strategies, and that's going to take us to the next level. And it's really going to allow all these partnership integrations to shine that we've been making. Like we've been making a lot of integrations to where essentially people have referral links, and when their community or their clients make a plan through that link, that entity who has that referral link gets a 5% flow back from the service fee. So it's like 498 SHA per plan made that they get.
Interesting. I don't know if you've said this, but any time frame on Inherity Mobile?
It all depends. We might be able to get it launched near the end of this quarter, if not towards the middle of next quarter, but we're definitely going to get it launched soon in this year, and it's just going to bring us to the next level, because as soon as that rolls out, that's whenever we're going to start doing our mass marketing strategies. Because right now it's just I don't want to say it's pointless, because it's never pointless to market. You can always never market too much. That's the number one rule in business, right? But you got to be smart about when you use your funds to market. And right now it's just not advantageous for us to market the product suite whenever it takes people 2 to 3 weeks to make the plan, because they have to order the safety device, then they got to wait for it to come in, then we have to hope that there's customer retention, because a lot of times in business, even after you sell the product, there's a percentage of a chance that the customer doesn't even use the product after they get it, because they forget about it, they get busy, right? So Inherity Mobile is going to allow customer retention to be almost instant, and it's going to allow us to start those mass marketing strategies. So I'm really excited for that sector, and I don't want to take SafeSwap lightly either, because that is really huge. it's going to allow so many projects to come over to VeChain that are already building on Ethereum, and they need cheaper routes to have smart contracts running for their community. So like that goes all the way down to NFT projects that have metaverses in a sense, and they want to have gaming contracts. They can go on a blockchain that's a lot cheaper, whether it's VeChain, Matic, Binance, whichever one. We support them all for their option. We're going to be pushing them to use VeChain, of course, and that's the main direction we're going to be pushing them towards. But we're going to be enabling them to go from any one of the blockchains that we support. So that's what's really so strong about SafeSwap. It's going to bring a lot of projects onto the platform for utilization, and there's a percentage of the listing fee that goes towards the utility node pool. So every time someone gets listed, like when I say someone, I mean a token, like a project. So every time a project gets listed on the platform to where their community can connect and swap and go from one blockchain to another, there's going to be a portion of that going to the node holders. And every time a swap's made, there's going to be a small fee going towards the node holders. So every product within the Safehaven ecosystem has some SHA utility directly driven towards the node utility reward pool. And that's what makes us so unique with our ecosystem, because it's not just one product. We focus on multiple different things, because we also have ThorPay, which we don't have that product really rolled out with a lot of, no businesses are using it right now, because nobody's really capable of using it to the means that they need to right now. Not any one of our partners are big enough in a sense with payroll to use a blockchain related payroll dApp, because that's what ThorPay is. It allows somebody to pay 50 or 100 wallets with the click of one button. It's almost as if you have a CSV saved with all the wallets and you load it up technically, and like it allows you to send it with one click. If one fails, they all fail and it bounces back. So it works. It's a great product, but there's just no one ready to use that yet. But we've got Thor Block, which that's interchangeable between any blockchain. It's just a fundraising ICO pooling platform. And then Fund Request that's coming. People have been asking about that too. So a lot of interesting things. We're going to be starting work on getting Fund Request deployed soon too. So we're going to be looking at doing Inheriting Mobile and Fund Request pretty much around the same time. So there's going to be a lot of stuff going on there. And we're also having a team working on the Negotium network for the Inherited Vault. So are you familiar with the two sides of the vault?
No, what's that?
Okay. All right. Well, it's pretty interesting. It's actually going to be revolutionary for our Inherited product suite. So the Negotium network is going to be the other half of the Inherited Vault, and it's going to enable storage of large data documents such as videos, photos, documents, you name it, right? Whereas the HashiCorp version of Inherited Vault, which is already built and it's ready to go for Inherited Mobile, is just to store small secrets, passwords, and phrases, right? Small bits of data, like 256, 500 bits, that type of stuff. So Negotium Network, the reason why it's going to not only evolve the inheritance side of things, but also the business side of things for traditional businesses, whereas it's for personal backup, like beyond inheritance, right? Because sometimes you have multiple people on a board, right? And it's not necessarily an inheritance thing. It's just an access thing to where you want multiple people to be able to have access to all these documents that are in a decentralized manner, but only these people. So there's going to be a lot of cool features and different plans opening up. And that's whenever subscription-based plans are going to be opening. And those are going to be fiat-based, but it's going to use SHA in the back end to where no one's even going to know. So it's going to be 100% user-friendly for businesses. But how is it exciting for the users for the decentralized inheritance side of things? So imagine you being able to create a video that explains to your child, hey, this is how you enter farming and staking pools. This is how you play this metaverse game and make X amount of money per day. it'd be because there's plenty of games that are out there where you could be playing them right now and be making money. I mean, it's not a lot, it's a little bit, but it does add up, and it's a way of living for a lot of people. But yeah, just any type of video, even memories about stuff that y'all have done in the past as a family, to where it doesn't have to be a disheartening event. It could be something happy. So really, the sky's the limit whenever you add in the negotiative network, and we can even look into doing some type of artificial intelligence recordings of people's family members, in a sense, to where they have a recording of themselves and it's them in there. I don't know if you've seen the artificial intelligence stuff, but it's pretty crazy. It's like you can ask the robot, in a sense, the holograph in the virtual world, any question, and every time it's going to be a different answer. It's like a memory bank that's based off of the person's personality. It's some interesting stuff. So, I mean, we're not developing that technology. I'm not claiming we are, but I would be interested to partner with someone who is, to where we could provide that with the negotiative network to give that experience to our users, clients, and businesses. So
That sounds absolutely amazing. Thank you for that. Yeah, that was going to be the next question. You know, what other products that you offer that you'd like to highlight? And you've answered that. So, yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next question. What is the future of DeFi and Web3, and how will Safehaven contribute to this? I know you touched on that a little bit with some of those products that you talked about previously, but can you elaborate on that for us?
yeah, I wondered 100%. So the future of DeFi is DeFi, decentralized finance. Like, everybody's going to be wanting to use DeFi products, because right now we're in a centralized world still, to where they're not even, when I say they, I mean businesses and clients, like in the everyday world, using normal products like Netflix and whatnot, right? They're not using blockchain technology. They're still on the Web 2 base, and it's not even going towards the Web 3 yet, let alone the fully decentralized Web 3 applications, because some of them are hybrids, to where they also have some data storing with it, right? So it's going to be very interesting to see all the different sectors evolve towards DeFi, and we're going to be there to help secure the data, whether it be protecting the mnemonic phrases of private wallets or credentials to hybrid DeFi CeFi accounts, or 100% CeFi accounts, or even storing, not even storing, in a sense. The blockchain would be storing it. We would be providing the service for them, because it would be decentralized, providing a way for them to store the large data files we were talking about earlier with negotiative network, because that's a very good thing for businesses. So like confidential videos, files, all that stuff. So another one would be SafeSwap, enabling all of the projects to go to different sectors of DeFi that are already built on the Web3 world, right? So like being able to go from one DEX to another. That's an example with SafeSwap. We allow people to go cross-chain, to where now they can go provide their own liquidity on PancakeSwap if they're a VeChain project, right? Or they can go over to Uniswap. And we're going to be adding some more chains too over the next couple months. So more information on that through official articles and announcements. But it's really exciting. We've been talking to a lot of projects that want to get support on SafeSwap, and there's some of them that have already basically gained support. In a sense, we just have to finalize the contracts and get everything buttoned up. Then we'll have more announcements for that. But we've got a partnership announcement coming out tomorrow. It's an INHERATENCE integration, so that's going to be really exciting. It's with an XRPL project. So it's
You got to give me the down low on that one, man. You got to give me the scoop. After
yeah. So I'll just tell you who it is. I'll just say who it is, since it's tomorrow. It's Bored Apes Club on XRPL. They call themselves X Apes pretty much, but they're the first board Apes Club on the XRPL, the XRP ledger.
Nice.
So they've
Nice.
got a pretty large community. They've got around like 28,000 followers or something like that. And they've got, I want to say, a couple thousand holders. So I'm really excited because it's a whole another community from a different blockchain. And that's what I love to see, us making partnerships with whole different types of communities, because it allows them to learn about our ecosystem and blockchain, and also allows us to learn about theirs. So it provides cool collaboration opportunities too, because their NFT project, they're going to be having their own metaverse with their own currency, with in-game and currency types of spending. We're going to be having some similar stuff with the shamanic oracles. So I would love to do something with them, with their NFT collection, our NFT collection, kind of like we're going to be doing with the other VNFT projects. So there's a lot of stuff to think about whenever you're making a partnership with a project. And that's what's really cool about just, I guess, what I appreciate about my job, in a sense. I really like that I'm able to do that, because it's a lot of fun.
You've got the best darn job in the world, man, to be honest. And I have to say, shout out to XRP Army. Of course, I got to say that. You've touched on Safehaven for the majority of the interview here. Could you just explain basic terms for people who don't know what it is? What is SafeSwap? I'm sorry, not Safehaven, SafeSwap. Could you just explain, just real quick, for basic terms, what SafeSwap is? And you've already told us why it was important, but just give us a little overview.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very, very excited about SafeSwap.
Yeah. So a really easy example of SafeSwap is, imagine that your token is a train on the railroad tracks, okay? And now you're coming up to a fork in a road. And in order for your token to go on that fork, you're going to have to change the tracks and swap it. That's what we're doing here. If a project wants to take their token and go to another location that has a different type of track or whatever, they've got to swap out that train, put a different one on there, and then now they can get going along. And all their smart contracts can be used there. Of course, after they migrate them, you can't take the same smart contracts from one blockchain and throw them on the other. That's not how it works. But once you migrate the smart contracts and you get the devs on that and they have it audited, then you go to SafeSwap. They swap the train to a different track, the tokens. They'll swap the VIP 180 tokens to ERC20, BEP20, Matic, or vice versa over to VIP 180 VeChain. And then they'll be able to utilize it on that railroad track. So like, that's the easiest way to put it, but it's a really interesting concept, and it's just going to allow so many different communities to come in and out of the ecosystem, which is great, because not every blockchain is built for every protocol. It's impossible. It doesn't work like that. There's some blockchains that are better for certain things. So if somebody wants to have, I don't know, like 5% of their supply on one blockchain to go do that type of protocol, then go do that. And that's what we're going to allow for them, hopefully, if we can provide the support for every chain that they want.
And another great thing about that is that, so I tell my audience that Bitcoin was the first generation of crypto. Then we had Ethereum, programmable money. Number 3, scalability. That's, Cardano, VeChain, all the other ones. And number 4 is interoperability. I think that is where we're at right now as a cryptocurrency ecosystem, blending all these chains together. Because like you said, different chains are better for different things. So I think that this is great, not only for Safehaven as a company, but for crypto as a whole, and VeChain as well. So what I've been trying to explain to the masses for the past 3 years is that VeChain has a great value proposition in that it's so very, very cheap to use these transactions. And it's very cheap and fast to do these transactions and to do these smart contracts. But the problem is a lot of people don't know about it quite yet. A lot of projects don't know. But if we can get that out there, get the word out there that VeChain is has these advantages, then that will not only bode well for VeChain, but crypto as a whole. So that was a little tangent, but yes, I wholeheartedly agree. We're in the fourth generation here, and interoperability is going to be very, very important for the future of crypto.
That's right. I agree 100%. Interoperability, it's going to be a huge step for us going forward. Even being interoperable with the traditional world, such as oracles getting stronger than what they already are, and allowing that bridge from that traditional data to go to the non-traditional data, because that's really what the oracles do in a sense. They allow it to communicate like the softwares and whatnot. It's like all the data. But yeah, I mean, another thing that I wanted to talk about earlier with our product suite that I didn't really explain too much is fund requests. So some people, they've been asking what the purpose of it is, because we just don't really talk about it too much because we've just been waiting for SafeSwap to come out, because fund request is a product that's on Binance Smart Chain, and we acquired it, and we had to wait for our token to be able to go over to BEP20 for it to essentially be utilized. But now that it can do that, Fund Request is a platform that allows people to outsource coding and smart contract work via GitHub with cryptocurrency. So let's say you got stumped on a smart contract and you couldn't finish the last 30 or 120 lines or something like that. You outsource it and you say, we're willing to pay this much for somebody to finish it. Whoever accepts it, they finish it, they get the money, you get the contract, and that's done. So it's going to be a brilliant way for developers to outsource stuff and get what they need done. And as far as when it's going to launch, I don't really have a deadline for that yet. I've got to go back and talk with the foundation and see kind of like what our game plan is with the launch of that. But it is going to be around the same time that we do the launch of Inheriting Mobile and whatnot. So
Great. Is there any other products you'd like to highlight? Anything you want to plug? Any NFT projects that you guys are working on? Anything at all?
yeah, so one thing that I want to highlight is the Shamanic Oracle NFT project. So we partnered up with VNOOBS not only to integrate Inherit, but to also implement the Shamanic Oracle's NFT project. And it's essentially a collection of 10,000 different NFTs, 5,000 males, 5,000 females. And then there's a separate collection of 3,333 companions that are going to be airdropped to qualifying wallets, which are mostly node holders and VNOOB NFT holders and some other collaboration NFTs. But we're going to be having a play to earn game come out, and it's going to be like a 2.5D type of based mobile game. And it's going to be like a map in a sense, to where it's going to be a big island, excuse me, with a bunch of waypoints, like kind of like a bunch of dots and like a trail to where the person's walking. And then you'll go from level to level, and each level will have 3 waves of enemies, and each wave will have 5 enemies. So whenever you're playing on the battlefield, there's always 10 people. You're 5 people, and then the other 5 enemies. And that's what the NFTs are going to be used for this game. And the players are going to be able to choose whether or not they want to use Shamanic Oracles or VNOOBS to fight in this game. And there's going to be NFT rewards if they are able to beat the boss at the end of each level. It's going to be like first come, first serve. And the interesting thing about these NFTs is that there's like 11 different attribute categories. So like you have the skin type, you've got the hair type, the face, the tone, the handheld, the crystal, the clothing, like a whole bunch of different types, right? And everyone has a certain ability that gives the character statistics or actual skills in the game. And it's an actual RPG attribute, so that it'll be leveled with actual tokens that are going to be obtainable by locking up NFTs or farming and staking with LP tokens. So it's going to open up further things on SafeSwap in the future. More ways to lock up SHA, to unlock certain things that are needed in the game to upgrade your characters to do more things. And it's going to be really interesting because the game's going to have fusion, to where basically you can fuse two NFTs together and select which attribute of the two that you want for that category. And if it's the same attribute, then it creates a legendary attribute. And all that's going to cost SHA. There's going to be SHA fees for people to do that. So the same thing with breeding. There's going to be breeding too later. So there's going to be a whole bunch of different things that come into play that provide more utilization of the SHA token in different sectors of the world, meaning metaverse and gaming. And this is something that I'm creating with VNomes, Jeff and Rob DeTeodoro, Jeff Perry and Rob DeTeodoro. And we're just creating it for the community, having something to where they have something fun to play. It's going to be an educational thing too, to where it teaches about the product suite. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting, but it's going good so far. Last I checked, there's only like 15% of the supply left. There's like only 1,500 NFTs, and the public sale started on the 11th at 7 p.m. UTC. So it's only been like 4 full days. So the sale's going really good thus far. I'm really happy with it.
Any timeline on when that game might be? We'll get a teaser on it or anything?
Yeah, so as far as when the game's going to actually come out, we don't unfortunately have a strict deadline, but as soon as the minting's done, we're going to host a DAO, like a decentralized autonomous organization set up to where everybody has voting rights on Discord, and everybody gets one vote. And we'll give them some options. We'll be like, all right, so look, 15% of the minting fees are set aside for the game development. And right now, given the current market conditions, this is what the price is. Do y'all think it's smart to start the development right now, or wait 2 or 3 weeks whenever the price is higher to where we have a bigger funding? And we'll have like 3 or 4 different options. Like one option to where take 25% of the reservation, liquidate it now, and start the development, and then pay as you go, which is what I'm really looking to do. No matter, like, that's what I mean. I'm going to go with what the DAO says, but that's what the primary option that I would prefer. Take like 25% of the reservation, no matter what the current market says, and start the development and get that underway, because the artwork's there. All we need is the coding to get started, which is already ready. The GDD is ready. Like if you look at the article that's on Safehaven, it's like a 21-page article. It goes over all the attributes, the abilities, the different types of skills. So it's there. They just got to put it into the computer language, and it's just a matter of like hours, and those are hours that just cost money. So as long as we get them started, then I think we'll be able to handle it with just the first collection alone. Just being able to get a demo with maybe like 10 levels or like 15 levels. And then after we come out with a second collection, we'll be able to come out with the rest of the campaign and add in some partnership islands, because that's how we're going to add in partners and have utility with them, which is going to increase our community over time as well. So like Bored Apes XRPL that I was just mentioning, that's an example. So it's going to be really cool to see it all come together. But
that's great news to hear. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come talk with us. We're real big fans of Safehaven on this channel. And I do have one more question. And I stole this from Lex Friedman. I don't know if you watch him on YouTube. He's a Russian guy who wears a suit and he interviews people. And this is actually the first interview on the channel. So congratulations, you're making history.
Oh, cool.
So the question is, what is the meaning of life to you?
Just to be a good person, spread positivity, and figure out how not you can grow first, but how you can grow others. And then if they could possibly grow you, then that's cool. But always look to help others grow first. That's the meaning of life to me, in a nutshell.
I love it. Thank you so much, Tyler.
Yeah, man. Thank you. It was an awesome interview. I'm more than happy to come back anytime.
You're more than welcome to come back, and you will be back on the show. Thank you.
Thanks, brother. You have a good one.
You too.